Hello and welcome to Action Action. My name is John, and each week we watch a movie to decide where it ranks in our ultimate list of the greatest action movies of all time. This week we watched Assault on Precinct 13. Written and directed by John Carpenter and starring Austin Stoker, Darwin Jostin, and Lori Zimmer. A police sergeant and an unlikely band of criminals defend a closing LA precinct office on New Year's Eve against an army of gang members.
Freeze. This is the police. Drop your weapons and place your hands above your heads.
On Saturday, 6 members of the gang known as Street Thunder were ambushed by the police. On Sunday, the warlords of Street Thunder swore a blood oath to avenge their dead. For the gang called Street Thunder, it is a day of vengeance. It's war in the streets.
Oh, Jesus, come on. Come on, I'll give you my money. Just don't hurt me, please. Please.
It's terror in the night. It's the most shattering assault on a police station in history. Assault on Precinct 13.
This is a siege. It's a goddamn siege.
Hey guys, so welcome back, as always, with me,
James
and
Dustin.
So man, guys, gentlemen, how's your week?
Yeah, pretty good week. I'll start off by saying I didn't watch anything other than this movie.
What a shocker.
So, usually I get something else in, but not this time.
I watched the Royal Rumble.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I watched the Rumble part.
Yeah. Oh, which one, though? The men's or the women's? There was a women's Rumble this year.
I didn't watch the women's Rumble. I watched the men's Rumble.
Oh, you did watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. At first, it was, bunch of people. I didn't know. I watched it more as a cultural touchstone, so that I would just if people talk to me about it, I would know. Plus, I was kind of interested because it's always the funnest thing when you're a kid.
The Rumble is one of the more fun ones for sure.
But it's I'm just I'm so old out of it with this wrestling. I don't know what's happening. This Japanese dude won.
Yeah, that's who I was hoping would win, actually.
When he came in, I was like, this dude's going to win. This dude's pretty dope.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, he seemed pretty cool.
He's pretty cool. That was I think that was the guy that most fans wanted to win, but they were expecting Roman Reigns to win, who is the company pushed kind of.
Isn't he the guy who won 2 years ago?
Yeah, and so they did a pretty good job of making it them the two last guys, so that there was everyone was excited for Nakamura to win, but they were afraid that Roman Reigns was going to win. So I think they were clever about that.
Is that the Super Punch guy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
all he does. That's his move. Super Punch.
Super Punch and spear, and that's about it.
Yeah, wrestling. It's a thing. It's a thing that people still watch.
It's a thing I still watch.
I don't know. I think every time I see I watch it, I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of get why people watch it. Not all the time or anything, but once in a while.
I tried to in a panic to watch it.
The Rumble?
Yeah, but
why in a panic?
Well, because it's oh shit, the Rumble's on, and how am I going to watch it? I didn't want to pay.
Oh, that's dumb. I could have invited you over to watch it.
I know, but we were over here at John's.
Oh, okay.
I was sick, like usual.
You've been sick a lot lately.
I've been sick. Those goddamn kids. Pick it up all over it's on the floor.
You made your bed.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess.
What did I watch? Oh, I watched the Rumble too, but I don't think I watched any movies really. I'm into the second season of Batman the Animated Series, still plugging away on that.
Oh yeah, nice.
There's some really great episodes that I think hold up really well. I mean, there's a lot of cheesy ones too, or just cheesy parts in some of them, but the animation is so cool and still stylish.
Yeah.
And there's actually some really good episodes with interesting ideas in them and stuff, especially considering it was made for kids 20 years ago or whatever.
I finished Happy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Did you like the end?
I haven't watched it.
So no spoilers.
Spoiler.
You can talk
spoiler alert! It's great.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
It's really,
spoiler alert.
It's really good.
Hocus pocus, motherfucker.
Yeah. The penultimate, the second last episode is fucking one of the craziest 45 minutes of TV I've ever seen.
I'm trying to think of things that happened, and I can think of a few.
You find out why smoothie's called Smoothie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you watch that one, the second last one?
He hasn't watched any of it.
I haven't watched.
Oh,
I've watched the first four.
Oh, okay,
That's
but
it.
not the last four.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a wild ride, though.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And apparently it's coming back for a second season.
Which I was wondering how they're going to do it. But
They're going to have to make up a new story because that's the whole comic, right? That they covered in this first season?
Yeah, well, the comic isn't even this big.
Right.
But they've left a bunch of stuff open where they can continue with the same characters.
Yeah.
So it was really good. Christopher Maloney is like awesome.
He's great.
I can't believe that.
So good.
Yeah. I mean, I remember, like I said, when it first started, I was like, I just don't know how they're going to be able to do this. And then they pulled it off.
Yeah.
But yeah. I also watched Assault on Precinct 13. Oh, terrible transition. So let's
you mean
get...
Assault on Precinct 14? Sorry, it says Precinct 14 over the station sign.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
All right.
Well, you remember, I don't know if you guys remember, like when the movie starts, the main cop who's driving in his car on his way to his shift.
Yeah.
And the guy he talks to on the radio tells him to go to, I think it says something like District 13, Station 9.
Yeah.
District. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Or Precinct 9 or something. So, yeah, I guess what happened was, I guess we're time through. Carpenter, like, wanted it to be called Assault on Anderson or...
No, Assault on... Yeah.
Anderson, something like that. Anderson Assault or something like that. But anyway, whoever was distributing it didn't want to call it that, so they just took lines from the movie, but they like screwed up what the lines actually were. So that's why it doesn't make any sense.
Because I did pick up on that.
Mm-hmm. So
But yeah.
So it's Assault on. I mean, I got to be honest. Assault on Precinct 13 sounds better than. What is it? What did he want to call it? Alamo. I think it's like the third story down there. Oh, whatever.
It's on there. It's on this page.
Yeah, I think so. Alamo.
Oh,
the Anderson Alamo.
The Anderson Alamo.
Yeah, Assault on Precinct 13 is a better title.
Yeah, Assault on Precinct 13 is a great title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So, Dustin, why don't you just explain what happens?
Well, it's not a very complicated plot, really. You have there's a police station or precinct that's closing down, basically, and this is like the last night it's going to be open. And one of our main characters is a police officer who's sent there to like just oversee the closing down of the station for the night. And there's I guess there's a kind of a few storylines that all converge. And then you also have this gang that are angry because at the beginning the police basically gunned down a bunch of their members. It wasn't even really like a gunfight or anything. They just shoot a bunch of them. And so they are out for some kind of measure of revenge on the cops. And then you also have some guys transporting some prisoners to another prison, one guy that's on death row and two other prisoners. But they end up having to stop at this Anderson station, this Precinct 13, because one of the guys is like really sick. And so this all kind of collides.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty fucked up. I mean, there's a lot of fucked up shit that happens in this movie, but like right away with those I'd seen this movie quite a long time ago. I'd say like maybe early 2000s.
Yeah.
I didn't really remember a lot of it. Probably in preparation for watching the Ethan Hawke movie.
The remake.
Yeah. I needed to, you gotta watch
You gotta watch the original so you can check out
I
how
thought that
Ethan
was the original.
Just so that I can like explain why the Ethan Hawke movie would be better.
Oh, right.
Wasn't Leguizamo in that one too? I think
Leguizamo is in that movie.
Yeah, I watched it.
I can't remember a single thing about it.
About the remake, yeah. I mean,
About the remake.
I mean, I think it's.
Is Lawrence Fishburne
similar.
in it?
I don't remember.
I did not watch the remake.
But I was like, oh man, that is fucked up. That it's pretty much a shooting gallery. These
Yeah, once things, like, it's kind of a long prologue to set everything up, And then...
Well, but I mean, like when the cops shoot those guys in the alley.
Oh, yeah, they just blast them.
That was pretty messed up.
Yeah. They just gun them down.
I thought, oh, okay, well, there you go. That's just what's going to happen. I didn't see what from what happens there to till they finally have the assault on Precinct 13.
Yeah.
What happened in the middle, I was not expecting.
Oh, yeah. And then those gang guys like do that blood ritual kind of thing where they all cut themselves. Yeah, the cholo into that bowl of blood. I like that there was a racial diversity to the gang. 1976, you had a white guy, an Asian guy, Hispanic guy, and black guy.
Well, all the gangs back, but like in movies, like
it's like the UN gang that we have around here.
Yeah, the Warriors. They were a multiracial.
Yeah, Warriors. Warriors.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, I mean, we got to do that at some point too.
Oh, we should have been Gangs Month. February should have been Gangs Month.
Yeah, Gangs Month.
Yeah, it's good. It's a pretty basic plot.
Yeah, it's simple, but I feel like it works really well.
Yeah, it's quite effective.
Yeah, and I like how he has a sort of the three storylines, and they all build, and you can kind of feel it building, and then it's just like boom, just like everything kind of explodes for like the rest of the movie after a certain point. But it is also pretty brutal. Like you got this little girl.
Yeah, that was pretty.
The ice cream truck.
That was pretty shocking.
Scene. Yeah. It just gets shot and killed, and it doesn't cut away or anything.
No, it's it really.
Well, when the dad runs over to her and like that was pretty.
Yeah,
that got me.
Yeah. At first, I was like, man, I don't think I would have like jumped in my car and just left her there and chased these guys. But I mean, I guess you don't know what you would do, right? Until it happened, something like that happened.
Well, so his characters are kind of interesting, even though he doesn't do anything really other than shoot the guy.
After he shoots the guy who shot her.
He seems to be a guy on the outs with the police because he drives past the cops and the little girl's like, we could ask the cops, and he kind of like...
He's on the outs much as he's just showing like a world wariness, like he's an adult, so he knows that you can't just trust the cops to do the right thing all the time. Because she says her teacher told her, oh, if there's ever a problem.
Maybe in the 70s. Now it's okay.
I guess. Why is he driving around in the ghetto with his little kid?
It's not okay to trust the cops now.
I'm not saying... No, sorry. I'm not saying that. But now they're better than ever. That scene, though, when they submitted the movie to the MPAA, they were like, well, we're going to rate it X because you can't show that.
Because of the girl?
Yeah.
Are you just going to drop all of the trivia?
Well, no, we're talking about that right now, so it's time to talk about it.
I only know a few bits of trivia, and that's one of them.
Well, we're just on that subject of this scene, so... but yeah, so he cut it out and resubmitted it, and they're like, okay, we'll give you rated R. And then he just put the original version back in. I don't think you'd get away with that now. You'd probably get fined pretty heavily, wouldn't you?
By who?
The MPAA.
Who the fuck are they?
Well, there's some organization that apparently they're beholden to.
It's a voluntary organization, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and yet they follow their recommendations all the time for shit.
It's so bizarre to me.
It's really weird.
Yeah, why? Because
you want that rating because the cartel of like theater owners say they won't show your movie unless the MPAA has given it a rating.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure that's the way it works.
Did you ever watch that documentary? This has been rated R. This film has been rated R.
Yeah.
It was all about, covered all that shit.
Yeah.
I should watch that again. That was pretty interesting. I remember. But yeah, so anyway, he put that scene back in, which is a shocking scene when you see it.
That is a shocking scene.
You don't ever, it's not something you see a lot in a movie. Is a kid getting
what
gunned down.
I don't understand is, so he chases the guys, and then they end up in like this vacant lot.
Yeah,
and he gets out and he shoots the guy.
It's also nighttime now.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's nighttime.
Well, I think it was supposed to be evening, right? Like it was kind of like the sun was going down and stuff.
So he chases the guy, he shoots the guy. Why doesn't he just get back in his car?
Yeah, he just like walks off. At that point, I think he's like really supposed to be fucked up, and he becomes like kind of catatonic from then on.
Oh, I see.
After he's done, after he's taken his revenge or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he flees to the station.
Yeah.
And those guys are pursuing him. the rest of the gang guys.
Yeah, he shoots the head gang guy.
Or one of them anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think he's supposed to. He seems like they're.
Is he the leader?
I didn't get any impression that any one of them.
I don't think he's.
Or
like, I don't think he's actually is their leader. But he seems to be.
He's one of the 4 guys that puts blood in the bowl in the opening.
Yeah,
scene.
and he's also the guy who shoots the little girl but he's the guy in the back with the gun.
Yeah.
He just seems to be in a.
I guess what's the purpose of him shooting the little girl?
I don't know if he was supposed to be just reacting because she said something and he just turned and shot her.
I think
but he didn't seem to be concerned about it at all when he did it.
No, I think it's supposed to show the state of like it's like RoboCop and other like movies like this where there's like a lot of violence and like
the streets,
or like a lot of movies that take place in like the 70s or 80s in like New York and stuff like that.
Societal degradation.
Yeah,
right.
It's supposed to just show like this is what everybody's up against, right? It's obviously a terrible section of town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he definitely shot it in the actual legitimate like shit sections of town. All these boarded up houses and apartments and stuff they go past. But what was I gonna say? But yeah, I really like when he's pursuing the car full of gang members, the dad. Mm-hmm. The way that Carpenter shot that, where it's just like you see one of the headlights is like close up in the frame, and then you can like see the further car behind, like you're just seeing like the sides of the car and the headlights right in your face. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought the whole movie was like shot so well. Yeah. Everything looks so great.
But yeah, so then also while all that's going on, we do meet these prisoners that are going to be transported. Napoleon Wilson is the death row guy.
Yeah, he's great. Got to smoke.
Yeah, all through the movie. Anyone got to smoke? He's got to be the best like actor in this movie, or at least in this movie. I thought he was the best acting.
I think Ethan Bishop.
He's great too, and actually I really like
Austin Stoker.
I really like what was her name? Zimmer, Laurie Zimmer.
Yeah,
I think she did a great job too.
She's good. The other girl is a piece of work.
The more frightened.
Yeah.
She's
just give him up.
She's useless.
Yeah. But why don't we just give him to him?
It turned quickly though. Like she just right off the bat, like just do it. Just give him. They want this guy. Just give him. Like she just like panic.
Well, they have just shot up the whole place.
Oh, I understand. Like
she's just like a secretary. She's not a cop or anything.
Yeah, it's everything goes really quickly, but I don't know. It works so well in that quick time frame.
Yeah, I like some of the dialogue too between Wilson and I guess it's Lawson that's transporting them when they're sitting on the bus and he's talking to him and just what does he ask him? He's like, where'd you get your name, Napoleon? And he's like, I'll tell you sometime. And he's like, oh, when will you tell me? At the point of death, he says. It's kind of weird. In the end, he repeats that line to Bishop, but instead of saying at the point of death, he says, oh, probably in a few minutes here. Oh, because he's expecting to die any minute. Yeah, he's just got a lot of personality to him, that guy.
Yeah, he's great. He doesn't really do much after this, I don't think, as an actor.
Yeah, the guy that plays Bishop has done a lot of stuff, I noticed, but also Laurie Zimmer didn't do much. So, no.
But so what did you think of the pacing?
I thought the pacing was, it's really good. Like it's like, you don't get a whole bunch of action at the beginning, but everything feels like it's moving, like it's setting all the pieces in place to get to this moment, and you feel like the sort of build up to everything.
Yeah, I think the setup is really long, not really long, in the context of like the length of the movie.
Yeah.
The setup part at the beginning before the initial wave, the initial assault. They use all that time pretty well, pretty effectively to build the tension. It's just like the tension is like ramping up.
Yeah.
Building and building and building. And then as soon as the assault happens, it's pretty much like the movie's over. Yeah,
it's all assault from then on. Siege.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the pacing, the setup is like classic for like this time where it's like a slow
burn kind of.
Yeah. I think what helps the pacing is the music.
Like, Carpenter music.
It's like, I think it's awesome, the music in this.
It's pretty much paced like a horror movie.
Yeah, totally.
It's paced like a horror movie where you've got like, everything's fine, everything's good. It's just kind of moving along. And then in the last like 45 minutes, half an hour of the movie, it's like everything just crazy happens.
Well, even so much like a horror movie that, you know, they're moving all the cars around and then all of a sudden they look outside and everything looks the same way it did before. Almost like it's, you know, like they're like
imagining it.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
yeah, they have to wonder, like, did all this just happen? The bodies have been removed.
Yeah, definitely. Like all the bodies are gone. Everything looks the same.
And the gang members don't really talk.
No,
like,
they don't talk.
Like zombies.
They are like exactly like zombies.
Yeah, and they just come in like a wave of...
waves, yeah. I was thinking that while I was watching it, and then I read afterwards that was definitely an inspiration for Carpenter, which is no surprise. But it definitely had that Night of the Living Dead feeling where it's the same idea. They're all trapped in one location, and there's waves of guys coming, and they have to defend the place.
Oh, just like in The Raid.
Just like in The Raid. Except Raid, they're invading.
Yeah, I was going to say, except for he's the one
he's
invading.
The zombie, I guess.
Or he's invading like a zombie nest.
Yeah. Zombie nest.
But yeah, you definitely get the zombie feeling throughout. Once the assault starts, anyway.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about quotes and tropes before kills. This movie to me seemed like it had all the quotes and tropes. It had everything that like we normally look for, but it was done a little bit differently and maybe in a lot of stuff that we now look for way.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of the things that we see in action movies now come from movies like this, and they weren't really tropes necessarily before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I do feel like he's using some old school tropes in this for like we just talked about, like the zombie movies, the Romero things, and also like Western tropes.
Well,
like,
I think he pulled a lot from movies that he liked.
Yeah.
It
feels like he's
definitely got the Western.
Yeah, he's pulling a lot from other genres into this, and I think that a lot of the stuff has now become quite.
Yeah, now that's something that people do, right? Is like, merge a whole bunch of genre into one sort of new thing or whatever.
Yeah. But I love any movie that's got like this like really really good person that's like got to fight against this this like unrelenting evil that's coming their way, but they have to team up with
a bad guy,
but a bad guy that's like
a likable bad guy.
He's got something. He's got something else going on.
Yeah, he's got a little, what do you call it? I don't know. The French call it a little, I don't know what.
Yeah. No, it's I think just everything works in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's really like lean the way, like there's only 90 minutes, right?
90 minutes, yeah.
But everything, all the components, everything fits together properly. I don't know. It moves along properly. And we're talking quotes and tropes, I guess, but what do you got for quotes? Did you have any?
I think the "Gotta Smoke" line is just. I know. It's a simple line, but it works every time.
And
the way he says it and everything like that comes through, and then you read about it afterwards, and it's like for the rest of his life.
Oh, that was what he was known for.
That's what he's known for. Like it obviously stands out.
It's like Adam Scott's character on Party Down.
Oh yeah. Are we having fun yet?
So probably everyone was coming up to that guy and being like, "Hey, you got to smoke?"
Yeah. Yeah. That must be. I don't know what it's like to ever be recognized, but that must be really annoying.
Probably at first you're like, "Oh yeah, hey,
yeah, hey,
cool." And then after like 10 years of it, maybe you're like, "Ugh,
yeah."
God
you're like
it.
a fucking
I gotta smoke.
You're like a realtor.
Well, especially like he's not an actor that like I didn't know of him before watching this, so it's like it's not like somebody I might have seen him in something and not known it, but it's not like he became a household name actor or anything like that. So
no, although he does look familiar in a way.
Yeah, he just has that movie. He just has that sort of familiar way about him.
Yeah, definitely.
And do you have lines, James, that you liked in this one?
I don't know. There's a few lines. I think for me, I almost want to replace like a quote with the music. thought the music just tied it all together, and like that's the thing I consistently think about.
Is this the first John Carpenter movie you've ever seen?
No, I've seen Escape from New York. And
We watched The Thing not that long ago together.
Yeah. Yeah, which is an awesome movie. I've never seen that.
Have you seen Halloween?
I haven't seen Halloween. No.
Okay.
Yeah. His soundtracks are always...
Oh, they're always
our own music provided by our friend Jeremy Clausen is, you got to say, Carpenter-ish.
Yeah, there's some Carpenter in there.
Yeah, but it's almost like everything nowadays is Carpenter.
Well, it's become really
like
popular
even like
right
Stranger
now.
Things is kind of that.
Oh no, that's straight up meant to be.
But it's like everything that you listen to.
Yeah,
it's really in right now. If this soul like synth, or I don't know, there's people that are doing it like they call it synth wave or something. I don't know, but it seems to be a cool thing right now to try to do the Carpenter kind of music. And there's even like DJs and stuff that are doing this kind of Carpenter-ish stuff. I saw a guy actually
Drop the beat
at a metal festival a little while back, and it was crazy because it was like all metal bands, and then this guy with his like, you know, turntables and sound things and everything. And he just wears like a skull mask, and he has like a pulpit with like an upside down cross on it, and then he's doing like Carpenter-ish kind of like dance, but it's dancey at the same time. It was kind of cool actually.
That seems really weird at a metal.
You said you were at a metal thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a metal festival.
Why don't you say what festival you were at?
Oh, it was Maryland Death Fest last year.
Yeah, you weren't just at like somebody's like fucking backyard concert series. You're at like a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So it wasn't festival. It wasn't like it was just the nobody guy. Who was it?
It's called, I don't know if it's pronounced Ghost or Ghost, but it's like Ghost. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, there you go. But I think the most of the time I want to spend with the kills action.
Oh, one more thing before we go to that. If you're enjoying that music a lot, John Carpenter has put out a couple of albums just called Lost Themes and Lost Themes 2.
Oh, okay.
And it's all just music that sounds like it should be on a movie soundtrack, but it's not on from any movie.
Oh, it's just stuff like when he was messing around with things?
Yeah, and it's just fucking great to listen to.
Oh, really?
Did you hear what Carpenter said about the Halloween remakes by Rob Zombie?
No.
So I saw him, he was doing I guess he was doing like some kind of lecture series at like at a university or something like that, and somebody asked him about it, and he's like, normally I'd say I was really happy with them and everything like that, but apparently Rob Zombie like really pissed him off.
Oh yeah, I did read something about that.
Yeah, and said, I guess Rob Zombie implied that Carpenter was like cold to him and distant and didn't offer any help, and he's like, John Carpenter's like, I couldn't have been warmer or kinder or more generous with my time and offering up help. So fuck those movies.
Well, fuck them anyway, because they're fucking terrible.
Yeah, they are terrible. Remakes. But that just makes me really excited for the new remake, which he's involved with.
Right, and it has Jamie Lee in it again.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll turn out good, because she came back for a couple other ones that were
H2O.
Yeah, H2O and the one after that. And they were not good. The
original Assault on the Precinct, when it's like 5 minutes or whatever of just like gunfire.
Yeah, when they're all just ducked down behind the desks and the bullets are just flying.
How great was the choice to do that with every person having a silencer, which apparently makes no sound at all. But
yeah, I mean, that's not really very realistic.
But like the idea of that scene with all those bullets, right, just like flying constantly, and there being no loud, whatever sound it is that a gun makes, I thought was just such a genius idea. Yeah, it makes it so much more tense and scary and terrifying for like the audience.
There's
and these
bullets
people
coming, but we don't know. Like, it's like
zing. Yeah, it feels like now if that scene was redone, I'd like to actually see what the scene is in the remake. What that would look like if it was just like incredibly loud and like overbearing, and like there was be like techno music playing like underneath it or something.
Oh, I'm sure it'd be like heavy assault, like machine gun, like assault rifle fire, like blah, 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 just like overly bombastic.
I'm gonna put pause on the podcast for a second because I'm gonna go see if I can find that, and we'll be right back.
Totally worth it.
And we're back. That was not a good idea. So the movie's really boring.
Well, definitely a lot different.
There's a lot of people in it.
Yeah, a lot more people.
Yeah, everyone's like a recognizable actor in the remake version.
I do feel like we need to finish watching it, though.
The remake?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, now I kind of want to watch it. But
Yeah.
for some weird... It's got Ja Rule. I mean, how could you not?
It's got Ja Rule, so...
Well,
baby.
Yeah. I mean, we were going to call this the Jawcast.
The Jock. Oh, just cover all... I mean, we did Half Past Dead. We didn't put that one out, but Ja Rule had a prominent role in that film. Fine film as well.
We could just do like...
Jockcast.
Like 90s rapper movies.
Well, there's a lot of...
Or, sorry, 2000s, I guess. It'd be like...
We'll just do rapper movies.
Rapper movies. Ja Rule movies, DMX movies.
I call House Party.
Oh, I call the DMX movie.
Exit Wounds?
With, yeah.
Cradle to the Grave?
What's the one with him and Jet Li?
That's
Kill Romeo?
Cradle to the Grave.
Cradle to the Grave is mine.
Anyway.
Cradle to the Grave? That's
Cradle
yours?
to the Grave.
Okay.
That's mine.
What do you got, James? You gonna do a Tupac film? Boys in
no,
Boys in the Hood,
it'll be
maybe?
Exit Wounds.
Oh, not Are We There Yet? Starring Ice Cube.
No.
Ice Cube's too good to make. I like him.
Isn't there?
So do I.
Is it like Let's Be Cops or?
Let's Be Cops is with the two guys from
Our
New Girl.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the one with Kevin Hart?
I don't know. He's
the
in a million
movie with
movies.
Kevin Hart. He's not a rapper.
No, but he's in it with Ice Cube.
Oh yeah.
Home. Daddy's
Home.
No.
Daddy's Home.
No, not that one.
I don't know.
It's
It's important, though,
I
that
think
we figure it
he's
out.
I think he's marrying Ice Cube's sisters. Oh, Ride Along.
Ride Along.
And he goes on a ride along.
They made a couple of those, I think.
Yeah, I think they made 2 now.
Ride Along. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to this movie, Assault on Precinct 13.
So the Assault on Precinct 13 Part 2, as in the second movie,
The remake
isn't very good. Redux. Assault on Precinct 13 Redux.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I'm interested now.
Flash. Yeah, I am interested in watching it again. I have seen it before.
It's very flashy.
It's mostly I want to watch it because you want to see all the differences from the original.
Yeah.
To
Plus,
this.
I really like Ethan Hawke a lot.
Ethan Hawke is cool.
I really like
John Leguizamo was cool.
Well, right off the bat, just what we watched, where you guys like, yeah, really, cops point guns around like
Brian
that.
Denny
Like, it's
Brian Denny is like making a point,
He's
like
waving his pistol
waving his
around.
pistol with his finger on the trigger at Ethan Hawke. We're like, "Well, you fucking listen to me, young boy."
It's just those little gems, you know. It just makes movies awesome.
They have more prisoners.
Way more prisoners.
More people in the station than in the
Maria
original movie.
Bello, that chick who.
That's a little bit of the beauty of the original is how simple and stripped down it is, though.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It's not.
The remake's got the girlfriend from Sopranos.
Yeah. Saw her there. Yeah.
It's got the coach from.
Well, and
the coach from Goon.
Well, in the remake, they actually addressed that it's New Year's, right? Do they even address that it's New Year's?
I don't think it's supposed to be New Year's on.
No, it's just a day.
Oh, it's just a day.
It's just a random day.
See, and which is so much better. It's so much better that it's just a day.
It's just
It's just a day. There's nothing special. It's just a day.
I mean, I guess it's kind of cool that they at least changed the setting a little bit in the remake, just because what's the point of remaking it if you're not going to change it a bit, add something to it?
So that you can make the cop white and the criminal black, apparently.
Right.
From the little bit that we watched.
Although they seem like very different characters. Oh yeah, but they didn't even they even switched. They even kept the names though. Like the black guy is still Ethan Bishop, but now he's a criminal.
Yeah.
And I guess Napoleon Wilson is supposed to be Ethan Hawke.
Well, we never really found out his
We
name.
didn't
We didn't
realize
watch that part of the movie.
Anyway.
Yeah, we should maybe have an addendum to this.
Well, let's get back to that. We didn't really I feel like we didn't really finish talking about the action.
No, we just talked about that. We started talking about the assault scene, the original assault scene.
Yeah, with the bullets.
And how, it was so tense.
There's a lot of really good tense parts. Like later when they send Wells, one of the prisoners, down through the basement out of this grate by the furnace, and he comes through the sewers to try to go and hotwire a car so he can get away and call the cops to come. That whole part I thought was super tense when he's crawling in the parking lot and gets in the car.
And that's such a trope now that we see, where like somebody does something and then all of a sudden, like usually it's an elite special ops guy will sit up in the back seat, you know, or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And will have always been there. But what makes this so much more menacing is that these are just like street thugs that are doing this.
Yeah, so he makes it down the road. Oh, that shot too, when he's driving down the back alley and it's just the headlights in the dark and you're just kind of seeing the alley revealed as he's zooming down. That was really cool.
Yeah, and then he gets shot in the back of the head.
Yeah, because that guy was waiting in the back seat.
But like the guy waits until he's driving for a while.
Well, yeah.
Where was his mind
You're
at?
given like that hope.
Probably wanted him to stop.
Well, you're given like that hope because he looks at the phone booth.
Yeah, he stops, sees the phone
and
booth.
you're like,
he's considering in that moment, do I get out and make the call, or do I just make the run for Mexico or whatever?
He could have just made that decision in the tunnel.
Well, yeah, I guess.
But he wasn't faced with that decision right in the moment in the tunnel.
He was.
No, he wasn't. There wasn't a phone in front of him.
He's not looking at the phone.
No. He could have gone the other direction though.
Oh yeah, the other direction.
He could have just left.
But then he wouldn't have the car. He got the getaway car.
No, he would have just been somewhere safe with no bad guys. He could have come up wherever.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm sure there would have been lots of cars.
What is the line at the end, near the end, when Wilson and is her name Lee?
Yeah.
They're talking, and she says, "Why didn't you just kick off down the sewer in the opposite direction?" And he says something like,
he had unfinished business.
He said there's like two things you can't do, or something like a man
you can't run away from.
You can't leave a man who can't help himself behind. I guess he's talking about the dad who's like in a catatonic state at that point.
Or he was talking about Bishop.
Well, no, because he says it like in a way that's like somebody who can't help themselves. Okay. But I can't remember what the other thing is.
It was he couldn't leave. It was her.
I can't remember. It was to be implied that was her.
Yeah, there was a charge between them. Yeah, it was like when she finally does give him a cigarette. Yeah. And she lights it with her thumb or whatever, the match with her thumb. There was a bit of that's like the only kind of anything sexual at all in the movie is just that little bit of.
Well, there's nothing. It's just
it's just like a little moment.
Sorry, what I meant, not what the whole movie has no like romantic.
No, there's no romantic subplot.
I'm really interested to see what happens between Ethan Hawke and Maria Bello.
It seems like
in the remake, I feel like sparks are flying.
Things are happening. Yeah.
So that first wave, though, I guess it's the second wave. I'm looking on
when they open the box and they get the shotgun and the rifle.
Yeah, so we got movie. I'm on movie body counts here. How accurate this website is, I have no idea. But so they say how many people die in the first scene. The first
when they start coming in the windows.
No, in the first foray in the first movie. The first scene when the cops are shooting people.
Oh, let's say like 5 or
maybe
something?
3 or 4. I'm gonna say
they say 6.
Okay,
on the news, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
They say 6, but they only show 5. So then you got the ice cream for 2.
Yeah.
Then you got the car for 1, which is the bad guy.
Yeah, one of the 4 main guys.
Yeah. And then you got the first wave. So in the first wave, 4 people die, apparently.
In the first wave?
Yeah, so the first wave, the 4 people that die would be...
The cop that steps outside.
It would be the
and
cop.
They shoot him on the steps.
The cop.
Right.
It would be
by the bus.
2 prisoners.
Oh, yeah. 2 prisoners. No, 1 prisoner.
1 prisoner.
There's only 3 prisoners total.
Yeah.
The 6 prisoners. They shoot the sick guy and they shoot the 2...
They shoot the cop.
The cop who's transporting them.
There's the bus driver, the cop that's transporting him, and then the cop that was sitting in the back of the bus.
Yeah.
So that's that 4?
And then the prisoner. So that's 4.
Yeah.
There you go. So there's the 4. So this is the second wave, actually. We shouldn't call it the first wave. This is the second wave.
Okay.
So in this one, how many people do you think die, according to this
Now
website?
we're talking about when they start popping in the windows and they're blasting them out of the window.
Yeah.
I don't know. At least 10 or 12, I'd say, in that scene.
I'm going to say 18.
Wow.
The website says 22.
Oh.
I would have guessed even more.
I feel like you guys always guess over, but here I've severely guessed under.
Dude, they're just like coming in and it's like...
It is true. And he's like firing that shotgun so fast. He's like just pumping it and blasting guys.
I've shot a gun like once. A rifle, I think it's called.
It was a shotgun.
It was not a shotgun. You were there. It was a rifle.
I have fired shotguns.
I have never fired a shotgun, but they look like, to me, like the way they sound at least, like they would like move you.
They're a serious kick.
A rifle, like the rifle gives. It wasn't a big rifle. It was like I don't know.
22?
A standard size rifle.
Pellet gun? Or?
You were fucking there.
BB gun?
When
Uncle William's house.
I'm pretty sure it was a shotgun.
Shotgun.
I never shot a shotgun.
Shotgun has some kick. I also
shotgun.
don't think you can pump it that fast without jamming.
He does,
but it does look cool in the movie.
He does pinch his finger.
That's right, he does. Or else I wasn't sure if he was supposed to have pinched it or if he got a burn off the side where like the heat would be heating up. But
all I'm saying is that it felt like he would be like, you couldn't shoot those things that like nonchalantly.
Well, because he was like shooting from the hip almost, kind of. Yeah.
Well, he was also shooting the
like
rifle.
I'm like trying to like do the motion
good visual
here
for the podcast.
But it also looked like the bishop was like he was shooting from the hip too, the rifle.
Yeah, kind of. It's supposed. I think he wanted it. Carpenter probably wanted it to look like an old west shootout scene where they would shoot from the hip all the time in this.
He succeeded.
Yeah.
So those four guys.
And then Lee is blasting people coming down the back hall where the cells are with a handgun.
And she's like, bang, bang.
Yeah, so those four guys in the car, though, when they first get in the car, the one guy has like an assault rifle of some kind, right?
He's got like a big scope thing on it.
Yeah, and then the other three guys, what kind of guns do they have? They have like...
they look like those Nazi guns.
Yeah. That's what I was
They
saying.
look like Rugers or whatever.
I don't know. I call them Nazi guns. They're the guns that Nazis always have.
It does look to me... Oh, Mauser, maybe. I think it says in
You're the
one of the
gun guy.
trivia.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those type of
You're
things.
the closest thing.
Well,
to
the white guy who dies, he uses one on the little girl, and the ice cream guy in that scene with it has a silencer on it too. I don't know why they use silencers. I wonder why that idea was.
Silencers are dumb.
Must have been like the big thing.
Well, the
back
thing
then.
is, after a couple shots, a silencer doesn't work anymore.
I don't know. I don't understand.
Really?
Yeah, like the effectiveness of it gets degraded.
Well, this is news to me.
I want
a refund, man.
I watched that thing on YouTube.
This movie's bullshit, man.
And it said that silencers aren't even really real.
Yeah, I mean,
they're real. Like
they are. They
like,
don't make it a non-existent sound.
Well,
right?
they showed a guy who made them. This
It's
guy's
just-
like really. He seemed like he was a smart guy. Like they're like that's the company he owns does, but like they're for like giant fucking guns.
Oh, yeah, you can do big ones.
And they quiet it down to a certain point, but they don't make it like...
It's not like, ooh, what was that little whisper?
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Why not just use like a pillow?
Well, sometimes they do that in movies.
I do like...
Put a pillow. Just duct tape it around your barrel of your gun. There we go. Sorry,
Makes sense to me.
John, you said you do like something?
I don't know. Then I went for a sip of water and I kind of forgot.
It's gone.
Kind of lost myself in you guys talking about pillows.
Let's talk pillows.
So
what do you guys got?
That wave was pretty great though. Like so that.
Yeah, now that is like the first part where you're like, okay, this feels like a zombie.
Yeah, and it's also the first
thing.
Not the first part, but it's like where I was completely on board. I was already on board and everything was great. And then I was like, oh yeah, no, this is a great movie. Like the choices made in there, the way it was shot. I was like, oh yeah, all right, this movie's great, and I was like, completely sold on it.
Also, when she frees the guys from the cells, Wells and Wilson, when she gets them out of the cells, and those guys are coming in the back, and she gets,
she gets shot.
She gets shot. Well,
yeah.
grazed at least.
See, I thought she got So I thought she got shot between like her body and her arm.
Oh yeah. No.
So I thought she got shot like in there. I didn't realize she got shot on the outside, and I was like, oh shit. Like,
Yeah, no.
But then
just grazed the outside of her arm. But she plays it so cool. She's like doesn't really react.
Oh yeah, she's so cool.
She's just like waits for that guy to come close and then clubs him.
I want to know her story.
Yeah. She's an interesting character because you don't know why she's so cool about everything. Like the other secretary is like losing it, and then she's just like. She seems like she's just ready for it.
I feel like there's a Tarantino movie.
She's experienced something bad, yeah.
There's a Tarantino like prequel to this that's just about her.
Well, because she also has that line later where I can't remember exactly what Wilson says something, and she says that she doesn't believe, she doesn't wait for anyone to save her or whatever, something to that effect.
Who hurt her? Because whoever did saved her life later down the road.
Yeah.
But then when she gets uncuffs Wilson and that guy comes running in and Wilson like breaks his arm like through the bars.
Yeah,
or whatever.
fucking badass.
Yeah, that's pretty badass.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, Wilson's great. I don't know, Ethan and Wilson. Ethan Bishop, Napoleon Wilson. They make a great team. They're one of my. I'm gonna put them on the all-star list of best team ups we've had.
Yeah, and they're such different characters. And at the end, when the cop goes to put the cuffs on Wilson, he's like, "Just leave him alone." Like
he freaks out.
Yeah, he's just been through an experience with this guy. Like,
Yeah, there seems to, I don't know, there's this like underlying morality of like I don't know, human decency that I feel like runs throughout the movie of how the you know, how Bishop treats Wilson and the other prisoners, and how like they stand up for them, and how they and
he's a good cop. He's not a like scum cop or whatever.
It's interesting. I don't know if this means anything. I don't know if anything means anything, but like when you're first introduced to Napoleon, there's the warden, and he's this like real. He reminds me of like a televangelist kind of.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
You know, like, but he's a real piece of shit, right?
He's a hard ass.
He's not a hard ass. He's a piece of shit who like knocks him on his face and stuff like that. But before that happens, you know, was it Lawson?
Yeah, I think so.
He's talking like Lawson's talking to him, and Lawson seems like a pretty decent guy. Yeah, like he's a decent guy, and so this is like a, you know, you're seeing these two, the warden and Lawson, and then when you get to the Precinct 13, for lack of a better term, you have this. Now you have Bishop, like Ethan Bishop and Lawson, right? Like possibly an even better, more honest, good guy than Lawson. Like you have this like these degrees that are just moving closer to being more. I don't know.
Well, Wilson is a guy who doesn't trust cops, right? But then Bishop is an actual upright guy who like earns his trust.
Yeah, and how like it goes from like the warden who's like, you know, a 9 on the bad scale. Yeah. And then like Lawson, who's maybe like we don't really know. We don't really get an opportunity.
But he seems kind of straight up.
He seems pretty straight up. And then there's Bishop, who's like an
actual good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, going back to my favorite line though, I wanted to inject was the one at the end where he's like, what does he say? He's like, "It'll be a privilege to walk out with you, Wilson." And he's like, "I know it will." And he's like, "You're pretty fancy, Wilson."
Well, let's just listen to it for a second.
Yeah. It would be a privilege if you'd walk outside with me. I know it would. You're pretty fancy, Wilson. I have moments.
That's the best.
Yeah, that's a pretty great line.
Yeah. I know we already did quotes and tropes, but I just thought of that one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we can still put it in, man. It's cool. It's kind of our podcast. We can do whatever that we want with it. But
I thought you were ruling with an iron fist over here.
No, but if we skip ahead, we talked about the car. We got the third and final wave that pretty much happens, where they're in the basement, like they're moving down into the basement.
Yeah, they're like setting up.
They're setting up for their final, and
they know those guys are all coming in now.
You know, and like once again, you know, I say stuff all the time. I don't know if it's actually real or not, but like they put themselves in the basement. They're kind of like they're putting themselves in a tomb. They're actually really burying themselves. They're barricading themselves in. And they've set the bomb that they've created up in the corner.
Yeah, the acetylene tank.
And this scene, I think, is done just so brilliantly, where they all start piling down
Yeah, they wait for them to back into the hallway.
Yeah.
They have the big sign as like a shield.
Yeah, and you have to like, it's obviously like huge suspension of disbelief. Like they're not shooting through the sign and they're batting them over the top or whatever like that, right?
Yeah.
But like I love how they all come down in there and they pack themselves in, and then everything's so dusty, and Bishop can't make the shot.
Can't see the tank
he's like,
anymore.
I got 3 shots.
I love a confident man.
Yeah, it's just...
Or we can't argue with a confident man.
It's just so great.
Yeah.
There's actually quite a few good little lines in this. They're not like, they're not like those ones that are like, oh, yeah, that's a classic. It's just they're good little bits. Like everything they say is just, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That plays.
I think as soon as he gets there, there's like lines like, she asks, how do you like your coffee? And it's like, black. I've been black for 40 years.
I've been black for...
No, she says black, and he says, yeah.
She's black, yeah.
For over 30 years.
For over 30 years.
Yeah.
So he pretty much said he carried fuck you into that table, right?
Yeah, or something like that. Something dirty.
Yeah.
It doesn't show what he's...
Did you read that piece of trivia?
No.
So that's actually Alfred Hitchcock story.
Oh, yeah, I did read that, yeah.
That's what he says with Truffaut.
Yeah.
When they had their... Yeah. Was there a dog... didn't they make a movie about this?
Did they? I don't know. I feel like I should watch it if they did.
But we should get to our ratings, what we thought, all in all.
All the numbers?
Yeah, so why don't we start off with plot, James?
And I actually changed my rating on one.
Okay.
But plot, I gave it a 6.
I give it a 7. It's a simple plot, but I feel like it works really well.
I think it's a simple but effective plot. I gave it a 7. If anything, it deserves more than that for just how well what they do with it. The reason I kind of gave it a couple problem, like not perfect, I don't know. I do wonder what they were talking about at the beginning, about how it was his first day.
Yeah, I think it was his first day as being a lieutenant because he had been promoted. They don't really explain that. Yeah,
that. That doesn't deserve it to lose points. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Now I just feel like I need to raise the ratings on all my stuff. I'm just gonna stick with a 7. All right, let's skip that one. Let's go to. We'll go to quotes. What did you give it for quotes?
I gave it a 6.
Quotes and tropes, I gave an 8.
And I gave an 8 too. Quotes and tropes.
I feel like the tropes are super classic, but done in a way where it doesn't feel like you're just like, oh, this is a rehash of this or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like how I said, how he was stealing stuff, not stealing, but like homaging everything. Yeah. And then like you were saying, how like there are so many quotes in it, they're so subversive, like you don't even necessarily remember them right away. Yeah,
they're not like written in a modern sort of, I don't know, super catchy kind of way. They're just delivered in a cool, with some panache.
We should probably like try to come up with like our own standard of like yippee-ki-yay to like... Like there's quotes that I use.
You got that blue thing going on.
So here's
a 10. That's a 10 out of 10.
Oh, that's a 10. Yeah.
So, like, as an aside, like yippee-ki-yay motherfuckers, like one of the great. Would you say one of the greatest?
Well, it's certainly memorable. It's one of those ones where it's like when you hear a great song way too many times and you can't tell anymore if it's actually good or not.
That's a good point.
I think it's definitely memorable. I don't know if it's one of the great. I think it's just like you said, it's just been used so much.
Yeah.
So
it's hard.
It's hard to tell now. Like, is a great quote a quote that you just remember and everybody knows, or is it a quote that you like use in place of something in actual conversation, not as like a douchebag college student just like quoting fucking Anchorman at each other, but like as an actual like. We all use like quotes from movies or TV shows. I would have gone
with what's this, Borat.
Borat. Oh yeah. Well,
I almost feel like a great quote is something that when you watch it and you hear it, it's almost like it's an inside joke that you get.
That's a good way of putting it.
That nobody else gets. Because there's times where I'll watch a movie, even in the theater, and I'm laughing at something, and people are just like, quiet.
What's the
It's like hilarious.
That happens to me a lot too.
What's
Yeah.
the Die Hard 2 quote when he's at the not secretary, but he's getting help.
Just the facts.
Just the facts. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just like a little throwaway one. Yeah.
It's a
really good one.
It's
Yeah.
a really good one. So anyway, I think we need to ruminate on our quotes and tropes and what they really mean. But pacing.
I gave it an 8.
I gave it a 7.
And I went with a 9. I actually pulled this back originally from a 10.
Yeah.
I almost went back up to a 10. I just don't know if they could have done any more with this. I think it's almost a perfectly paced movie. As close as you can get to perfect, I guess you should say. It's an hour and a half. There's no fat on it. It's just like it's a lean.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. But so we've got plot, we've done quotes,
I think
we've
action.
done pacing, we've got action, kills.
Yeah, I went with 7. Oh no, yeah, 7.
I also gave it 7.
I gave it 7 too.
Yeah.
I think
But it's not like, like the action is cool because of the concept of what's happening.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of cool little action bits, but mostly it's not like, some amazing action sequences
No.
stuff. It's just like the whole situation is what makes it work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he does really great for what they're doing.
I love a siege for some reason, or like I like a one location kind of thing always does it for me for some reason.
Yeah.
Not always, but most of the
A
time.
bottle episode of a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great. So what's your final reaction, Dustin?
I believe I gave it 8. That's my final reaction.
I gave it a 6.
And
what the fuck?
Yeah.
I gave it an 8.
6.
What the fuck?
What the?
All right. Well, I think we need to have.
What does that give it overall?
Overall, it gives it a 7.3.
7.3. Yeah.
So that's pretty high up, I think.
That is high. We have we've kicked one of our
What's RoboCop?
7.1.
7.1.
Oh, so it's going ahead of RoboCop.
So it's actually tied.
What?
It's tied with a movie.
Which movie?
Number 4 on our list, Ong Bak.
Ong Bak.
Going back.
It's a
So
better,
we need
it's a
to
better
make
movie
a
than Ong Bak,
decision.
in my opinion. I love Ong Bak. Ong Bak's a lot of fun. I think this is a better movie.
That's
I
It's
was
shot better. It's got more memorable characters.
I was ready to go for the debate for this over RoboCop. I wasn't ready for this over Ong Bak conversation.
Just put it
What,
just
what did
behind
I
Hard
give?
Boiled.
What did I give Ong Bak? Oh, I think I have to go with Assault on Precinct 13. I gave this a higher rating.
It doesn't even matter what you think now, James.
No, well, it never usually matters.
Oh, you won us over last week with your Universal Soldier argument.
Yeah. No, I think I agree with you guys with this one.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
Shit. So we have a new number 3.
New number 3. No,
New
4.
number
New number 4.
4.
Yeah. Knocks Ong Bak down 1.
Oh, sorry.
It's just behind a Hard Boiled.
There you go. Number 4. With a bullet. With a silenced
With a silenced bullet.
With a whole bunch of silenced bullets.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, what are we gonna watch next there,
Yeah,
James?
James.
So I'm kind of tossed up between Ninja Turtles 1 and Ninja Turtles 2. So
Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense to watch the first one first.
I'm going to vote for number 1.
I think I want to watch number 1 just so I can like
Mentally prepare for number 2.
No, it's not that. It's which I will have to mentally prepare for number 2, but on the VHS copy
That we owned
as kids
from Pizza Hut.
the commercial at the beginning.
It's a special deal. Like you order pizza, you get fucking
So
Ninja Turtles movie on VHS.
I got it for Christmas, like the year it came out. What year was it? Like 1990?
1990, yeah.
Yeah. So that Christmas, I got it for Christmas. Yeah.
from Pizza Hut.
No, I didn't get it from Pizza Hut. I got
They
it
sent
from,
him a gift
I
for
got
Christmas.
I got it from someone who bought it at Pizza Hut.
Okay.
And
sorry, go ahead.
So before the movie played, there was a Pizza Hut commercial
Right.
about this little boy playing baseball in
the outfield,
in right field, where the dandelions grow.
Yeah.
Because he's like, no balls went out there really, right? So like he hung out and like...
It's like daydreaming or something.
He's like daydreaming and shit. But then at the end of the day, he went to Pizza Hut.
Sweet.
After the game.
Sounds like quite an arc.
But there's a little song that plays.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what he's talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. That reminded me that for some reason McDonald's, you used to be able to get... You'd order a combo meal and then you had the option pay like $5 more and get a movie on VHS. And for some reason I bought the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore from McDonald's.
What an obscure movie to buy from McDonald's.
From McDonald's.
I can't remember what the other options were, but yeah, I owned Ghost and it was because of McDonald's.
Captain Ron. Pick. You can pick Ghost, Captain Ron. Now I'm just thinking Goldie Hawn movie. Wildcats.
Wildcats?
It's a Goldie Hawn.
Yeah, I know, but there's a full frontal nudity scene in that.
Oh, well, then
I've never seen it. It,
Oh.
used to be on like the Channel 14 all the time when we were kids. Well,
Okay.
all right. TMNT 1.
The Turtles. All right.
Right.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening. Please check us out on Instagram and Facebook. We're on Twitter, Action Podcast. Tell your friends to download us. Please give us a rating if you could. It helps us a lot. Until next time.